Today it is my pleasure to welcome Christine Daigle, and we will be discussing her series on Kindle Vella.
Wow.
Christine,
When people are having days in between episodes, it's not like another chapter where you can just flip to the next one if you're caught up, so you just kind of got to keep that pace hopping. Yeah.
So everybody's expecting them on like certain days. Is that?
Yeah.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Yeah.
So we just publish, like a podcast.
Yep. We publish every Wednesday and Sunday. We started Tuesday and Saturday, but changed because Fave Day is Sunday. So if you don't have an episode on Sunday, you can't get a fave. And that's important for ranking on Vella.
Oh.
So yeah, we make sure we publish on Sundays.
So that was going to be my next question.
Yeah.
What do authors need to know about Kindle Vella before they get started? And Fave Day seems to be really important then.
Fave Day is very important.
Hey, Writing Pursuits authors, welcome back to the show. To those of you who are new, I want to extend a special welcome. My name is Kathrese McKee, and I'm glad you're here. I own Writing Pursuits and write and produce the weekly newsletter, Writing Pursuits Tips for Authors. In addition, I am a speculative fiction author. This program is for authors who like to discuss writing craft, author life, and book marketing strategies. Let's get to it. Hey, Christine Daigle is a co-author of the traditionally published steampunk novel, The Emerald Key, and two ongoing sci-fi and horror serials, The Molecule Thief and Dark is Away, under the pen name LP Styles. She is the co-host of the podcast, The Serial Fiction Show, and a 3-story method certified editor. She's an ex-figure skater and sea glass collector. She's also pretty good at predicting the mood swings of her mercurial cat. Out of the way.
Oh, awesome. Perfect.
Yeah,
and I see you got your pupper in the background.
Hello. Yeah, my pupper, one of my puppers, the other one's down on the bed beside the desk. So what about your cat? Where's your cat?
Oh, she doesn't like this room. I don't know what it is. She won't come into this room. So which is good for me because then she doesn't interrupt,
lay
recordings.
on the keyboard. Yeah. Do stuff like that. Oh, yeah. Well, welcome to Writing Pursuits. All right, let's see. I really want to talk about your Vella serials and does it go by Kindle Vella? Is that the correct name?
Yeah, I guess it's totally Kindle Vella, but we mostly just call it Vella.
Yeah, everybody just calls it Vella. And I did not know that you had two serials going on.
Yeah.
They're both underway?
They're both underway. So started both of them right with the launch back in July 2021. It was a lot. So we're doing 2 episodes a week for each serial. So I have a co-writer, which is at least nice. That helps a little bit.
Right.
My co-writer is Stewart Sternberg. And so that 4 episodes a week total between both serials. And we've done 2 seasons for both of them. So we're doing a sci-fi and a horror. We got some advice probably about midway through to kind of promote one. So we went with starting to promote the sci-fi. So we've been putting a bit more focus into that. The horror is continuing, but we kind of wrapped up season 2 and it's like, we'll get back to this at some point. We're going to finish season 3 of the sci-fi and then we'll see where we're at. Yeah.
So do you know the ending?
Vaguely. It's been a very different experience because I'm an outliner. So this is different for me. I'm a big time plotter. I'm usually a more detailed plotter. And I've kind of been forced to go a bit hybrid. So more pantsing. So there's an ending in mind out there somewhere and we're getting to it. We at least have an ending for season 3 and then we'll see what happens after that.
So it was episode 100 that you just put out?
Yeah, not too long ago we just put out episode 100, which was somewhere in the beginning of season 3. We're at 100 episodes,
and that's just for the Molecule Thief, right?
That's just for the Molecule Thief. I think we put out about 80, 90 episodes of the other one.
Okay, so like how long are they been, like word wise?
They range. I think the shortest episode is about 1,000, longest is about 2,500 words usually. I think we had one that went 2,800 words, but try not to go more than that because people get reader fatigue after reading on a screen for that long. So
Okay.
yeah,
Okay.
so
Well,
we try to
that's
keep them
interesting to
shorter.
know.
Yeah, it's
Hmm.
been a lot of learning that I guess like 5 to 10 minutes, if you're reading on your phone, you get reader fatigue. So we try to keep it there. And, our paragraphs are very, very short, usually about 1 to 2 sentences, never more than 4. So it's
Okay.
been a very different style than novel writing for sure.
Very different. Very different.
Yeah.
Because I was going to say, like, one of my chapters is like, I try to cap them at 2,500. That's probably an average. And like 1,000 words, that's like flash fiction. So
Yeah, it's really, really short, really fast. There are a lot of episodes that we've written that, in a novel would be like, oh, we're putting in this for pacing. It's a little bit of downtime, and usually end up chopping them because,
wow.
when people are having days in between episodes, it's not like another chapter where you can just flip to the next one if you're caught up, so you just kind
Yeah.
of got to keep that
Oh
pace hopping.
man.
Yeah.
So everybody's expecting them on like certain days. Is that?
Yeah.
Oh wow. Okay.
Yeah.
So
we
just like a
publish,
podcast.
yeah, we publish every Wednesday and Sunday. We started Tuesday and Saturday, but changed because fave day is Sunday. So if you don't have an episode on Sunday, you can't get a fave, and that's important for ranking on Vella.
Oh,
So yeah, we make sure we publish on Sundays now.
so that was going to be my next question.
Yeah.
What do authors need to know about Kindle Vella before they get started? And Fave Day seems to be really important then.
Fave day is very important. We had 10 episodes ready to go. I would recommend having a backlog because they go way faster than you think. We're kind
So
of
fast
on the wire right now of being able to schedule out, because you have to schedule out 72 hours in advance. So we are kind of right at, and you can just do it at the time, and they just publish somewhere within the 24 hours if you just do them live right away. But if you want to schedule, you need to schedule 72 out.
And people appreciate regularity. I guess they know when their regularly scheduled program comes on.
100%. 100%. Yeah. I guess for someone just starting, I would say, start less. If you think you can do 2 episodes a week, do 1. And because you can always go up, and people will always be happier if you put out, a bonus episode a week versus, not making your 2 episodes a week.
So I get like, what did you say? Like 20 episodes?
20 is awesome. We started with 10, which was tight. So yeah, 20 would probably be a good idea.
Especially maybe for a newer author who's not used to producing X number of words per week.
Yeah.
And it is good. I can see how having a co-writer would be really excellent, very powerful. So
yeah.
So I was going to ask, what are the main differences between writing serialized fiction and writing a novel? But I think I understand now.
Everything.
Everything.
It's been such a learning curve. Yeah.
So do y'all have a draft revision cycle, or is it pretty much we're going to do this?
Wow. We did when we started. So we started with alpha readers, beta readers, and an editor. And right now we have a beta reader. That's where we're down.
And that's where you're at.
We're editing it ourselves. I was like, so for the first season, and honestly, I don't think there's too much difference because it's not like you can't have a developmental editor because you don't know where you're going. You're just, writing hundreds of episodes kind of by the seat of your pants, even though we do have like a loose outline in mind, but
sure.
Yeah. And then we're using kind of per writing aid for our to self-edit. And we have one beta reader who is awesome.
Who must be very dedicated to the show, and kind of like,
she's amazing.
Involved, Yeah, you'd have to have somebody that was really, and could remember what happened before and kind of have an idea of maybe where y'all are going, see if you surprise me. Okay.
Yeah, she's been with us since the beginning, has been our consistent beta reader, and I don't know what we do without her.
What? Where did you find your beta reader?
She's actually a writer friend. So we were in Pitch Wars together. I did the Pitch Wars writer mentorship in 2019. And we became friends through that and just kind of started reading each other's work. And
hey, that's the best kind right there. That's the best kind. So what would you do differently now, being experienced? If you were going to start a new series, what would you do?
So the start of this series is a little bit slower than I think it should be. It was more of a novel pacing because I've never written serial fiction before. So I think I would have, because I was like, oh, you got to meet some characters and, you know, that kind of thing, and a little bit of character development. So I don't think I would have done that. I think I would have come out with more of a bang and a faster pace. Yeah. So I wish I had known more things about marketing before I had started.
How do you market these things?
It's tough, and it does take some hustle. I don't think social media really is that much of a help in terms of just like posting to your social media accounts. I don't think a lot of people find it there. So, you know, a lot of it was just talking to other authors. My biggest marketing right now is Facebook ads, because they don't have AMS ads for Vella as of yet.
That's bad.
It's weird. Yeah.
It is
I hear
weird.
the rumor is it's coming, but it's not there yet. So they're still in beta. We've been in beta for almost a year now. I don't know. So maybe it'll get out of beta someday. But yeah, so the only option really has been Facebook ads. And then, you know, I've done like a couple other promos like Fussy Librarian and BookBub. Honestly, they worked okay. They weren't that stellar.
Right. Because they're novel readers, mostly newsletters.
Newsletter slots.
So like with other serial fiction authors.
Right.
Okay. Yeah. Is there some kind of community around that?
Oh, absolutely. You can just join BookFunnel and you can look for newsletter promotions on there. So you can look, you have to have like a reader magnet, something that you can give away usually to join those. Sometimes they have them without, but like, yeah, you can look on BookFunnel. Is usually where I'm looking when I'm looking for a newsletter.
Well, I had no idea that you could do serial fiction on there, but why not? You know,
why not?
Why not? Why not? But Facebook ads make sense to me. I'm just shocked actually that Amazon doesn't have like Amazon ads. No, I don't believe that. It's their own product. You know, you would think they would be trying to support it. Wow. So is like, and was that all that you would do differently? What I heard was started kind of like a television series where they just shoot you out of a cannon and they let you catch up with the characterization and sort things out as things move on.
Yeah, I would have started faster with a bit of a faster pace, a bit more cliffhangers. And I would have advertised earlier. I didn't start Facebook advertising in quite a while.
Okay.
And you know, it was okay because I was there first. So visibility was okay. But
now,
sorry. Now there are a lot of stories on there. So, and really the key to getting reads is visibility. So ads are important. So, you know, bringing in new readers are important if you want visibility, if you want people, they only have one fave a week to give to one story. So if you want to rank in those top 250 serials,
you can't just favorite anybody. No, it is really truly the one favorite, the one to rule them all.
And so it's difficult. It's difficult to rank in that top 250 and to get that kind of visibility. And really only the first couple pages get most of the readers. Amazon's been doing some things to kind of try and mitigate that very slowly.
Switch it up. Yeah.
So they've been doing like a feature list and like, if there's new stories, they have a new story list, but there's no guarantee you get on it. So,
so you know, the biggest have it like by genre.
No, they have like categories by genre where you can see like top ranked by genre. So like fantasy, romance, whatever. But you have to actually click on that. So if you're going on to the first page, you're pretty much seeing the top 5 stories.
Okay.
The featured stories and then the new stories. Sometimes
it's kind of like podcasts are all just thrown in the pot.
Yep. Yep.
So I guess my next question is Kindle Vella worth it? Are you planning on doing more when you bring these series to an end? What do you think?
That is a question. So I think that is a question with multiple answers. It has been worth it for me. I would say I'm probably a mid-lister on Kindle Vella. I'm not one of the top, and I'm also not one of the ones without any visibility. So it has been worth it for me. I know it has not been worth it for everyone. You do have to have some hustle with it. Like you do have to do your advertising and, you know, doing social media as just reminding the audience you already have. I don't think it's bringing in new audience, but to, to remind your audience to go read and that type of thing.
Right.
So
Don't
you do
fall
have to,
behind.
exactly. You do have to have some hustle with it. It's not like you can just throw a story up and hope that you're going to get seen, because it's not going to happen. I came in with really no readership to serial fiction. I think, you are more successful if you're bringing in a lot of your own readers with you. A lot of the people who are top rank already had like a tremendous readership that they brought with them.
Okay.
So in that regards, it's been a bit of an uphill battle for us, but it's been definitely worth it. We started at the beginning with like the launch bonuses and all of those kind of things. So yeah, I mean, the money has been worth it for us. I don't know if you're coming in as a newer author, what money might look like for you.
Right.
But, if you're bringing your own audience, or if you have a lot of hustle, I definitely do think it's worth doing, giving it a try.
So craft wise, what kind of impact is this having on you?
It's funny. It's actually had a huge impact, because I've always been a detailed plotter. And currently the novels I'm writing, I've gone way more hybrid. I'm doing a lot more pantsing. I've started titling all my chapters with like funny titles. And that's totally from Vella, because it's optional whether you want to title your episodes, but if you want to hook a reader in, if you have some,
you have to have clickbait.
if you have some clickbait titles, right, they definitely will catch a reader attention. So now I'm like, I've been putting funny titles in the chapters of my novels, and my beta readers are like, I love this. I love these funny titles in your chapter.
That's excellent. Great.
Yeah.
No,
and really,
the punnier the better, I guess.
Yeah, exactly. And really thinking a bit more about like hook lines, and my first and last line of every chapter, I really think a bit more about like, is this a hook in my first line? Is this going to hook somebody in, and am I going to make them turn to the next chapter? Is there something that's going to compel them to turn and not put down the book? And it doesn't always have to be like a giant cliffhanger, but just something that's I think there was a craft book, Take Off Your Pants, that called it a symbol crash, something that's visually or mentally like you're thinking about it, so you have to turn that next page.
Right.
So those are really the changes that I've seen. Yeah,
like new information, or the stakes get raised all of a sudden, or something like that, where
exactly
you have to turn the stupid page to find out what happens. Do you think your characterization has changed, style maybe wise?
But yeah, I think, in serial fiction, it doesn't hurt to have your characters be a bit more exaggerated and a bit more larger than life and a bit less subtle,
like they're on the stage, where they have to project.
Exactly. So I do think, it's made me a little bit less afraid to write some bigger personalities.
Okay.
And some bigger voice. I think, my voice has changed, and just like really having character voice, more snark, maybe. I don't know. But yeah, it's definitely fun.
Well, like dialogue is really good dialogue in books is a little bit exaggerated anyway. And it's like not real conversation, but the best conversation, the Gilmore Girls sort of, where they're snapping along and they're doing this. You're going, that's not real at all, except that it's fun to watch. So, I wish conversation really was that way,
Yeah, exactly. So yeah, it's good.
Yeah. Oh, wow. So how did you and your partner find each other? Your writing partner?
We have been writer friends for about 14 or 15 years, I guess. We were in a writers group together in Michigan, like a real life writers group.
Like in person?
Like an actual in-person writers group. When I was a baby writer, like when I had first started writing, and I really wanted to write a steampunk novel, and I didn't know what I was doing. So we collaborated on that, and that was our first book. We put that out
awesome
through a small press, like traditionally published. And then when this came around again, I was like, hey, we should do this. We should try this. This was, we had fun writing together before. We should give this a go. And
wow.
Yeah, why not?
Right. So we're both three story method certified author editors. That is such a mouthful.
Yes, it is.
Where can authors find your services?
I'm at Christine Daigle books.com. So Daigle is Daigle, pronounced like bagel. ChristineDaigleBooks.com. And my author services page is there, and all of my writerly stuff is there. So
I'll
Anyone
make
who's looking
sure
for me,
that's
it's
in
there.
the show notes.
Bagel like
So,
a bagel.
so when you go under your writer name, LP Styles, it's really you and your co-writer going under one
Mhm.
name.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So actually we had published, so our traditionally published book is published under both of our names.
Oh, okay.
When Vella had first come out, you could only put one author name. So
Ooh.
we were like, well, that's silly. And we kind of wanted to keep it separate from our traditional publishing a little bit. So we're like,
Mhm.
well, let's just do a pen name. And so the pen name is actually a joke. It's one of the names of our characters from our traditionally published steampunk novel, Lord Peter Styles. So we put LP Styles, it's Lord Peter Styles, and it's a joke from our
It's a
first book.
great joke.
Yeah, we do. We actually reference that in one of our our episodes. He's got a Daigle and Sternberg emerald key on his shelf. So it's a little Easter egg. for
Oh,
people who
that's a
have read
little
that.
Easter egg. I love it. Now, I also want to talk a little bit about your podcast because
Mhm.
it's very fitting that it's a serial fiction podcast.
Yeah.
Is that because of serial fiction, or is that because it was just the name before y'all started this?
Well, actually, it was because how I learned about writer endeavors or how I learned about craft or what's going on in the business is through
Mhm.
podcasts. So when I had first heard about Vella in April 2021, I went looking for serial fiction podcasts so I could learn how to do serial fiction. And there weren't any. So
And there weren't any. Perfect.
That's why I said, like, oh, I guess I better start one then because there aren't any. And I can have other authors who know what they're doing and we can come on and talk about serial fiction and we can learn together. So yeah, and
Excellent.
I co-host that with JP Reinflesh, who also writes serial fiction. He writes the Nerd Serial, and it's been awesome. We've had a blast doing it. A lot of
Yeah.
great authors.
Yeah, he's really great.
Mhm.
So okay, I'm just going to back up a little bit because
Sure.
everybody has their own story. How did you get started writing? I mean, why did you start and how did you start? I
Okay,
guess.
so why did I start writing? So I started writing because my son was born and I was at home and bored. Like there's only so much laundry you can do and so
Right?
much daytime TV you can watch. And I was just not used to not being cognitively stimulated. I had just at the time finished my master's degree and I was starting on a PhD, but I had taken some time off
Mhm.
to have my son and I was really, really bored. So I was like, you know what, I'm going to write an epic fantasy novel. I don't know why I wanted to do that. I'm like, people are write that like that. I'll write that. So that was my
People
first
always
attempt.
start there, don't they?
Oh, it was so bad. I read some of it on our serial fiction show. We brought out like our oldest, worst writing, and I
Oh
read some of
no.
it. It's horrific. So you can go listen to Serial Fiction Show After Dark if you want to hear my horrible epic fantasy novel. So I did that. It was horrible. I knew it was horrible. And then I started on the steampunk, and that's kind of, you know, we got that picked up right away. So I was like, oh, I guess I'm okay. So I guess I better
Right.
keep writing.
No, that's great. No, that's a great story. But you are doing the thing that you were getting all prepared to do too, right? In
Mhm.
real life, if
Yep.
you will.
Yeah.
So what is it that you do, if you don't
Oh,
mind
for my
sharing
day
that?
job? So
Yeah.
yeah, I actually have a doctorate degree in clinical neuropsychology.
Oh, so
That's
you're
my
really smart.
yeah, I do. Well, I guess I don't know if I'm smart or just tenacious. I think it's
Uh,
the latter. I don't think I'm very
okay.
smart. I think I'm just tenacious and did a lot of hoop jumping. But yeah. So yeah, I started in brains. That's where I started.
No, but that's great because I say no experience is wasted. It always applies to something later down the line, and you bring in that experience and it applies. So the tenacious part is directly applicable to being an author. So
For sure, you need a lot of tenacity to publish.
so you're not sure about writing more serials after this, kind of what kind of things are swirling around in
Yeah.
your head?
I don't know what we're going to do. We'll probably just write Molecule Thief forever. I think we're just going to probably write that for the rest of our lives. But we are thinking about putting it out in book form. So I think we do have, you know, probably the equivalent of 3 novels
Mhm.
shortly, 2 and soon to be 3. So we probably will put those out.
So how does that
in book
work? It
form at
doesn't
some
stay
point.
in Vella forever. You can
Yeah, you
withdraw it.
absolutely can. So you only have to have 10 episodes. And the last episode has to be published for 30 days and you can publish them in book form. So you can put it in KU or you can put it wide. There's no restriction on book form. So you can leave it both places and have it in both formats. So I think we are
Well,
probably going to do that.
I think that's something that Amazon has done correctly. I
Mhm.
really hate the way they do ACX, with that big long-term commitment.
Yeah.
I think that they're kind of thinking about, I don't know the latest on that, but anyway, that always put me off. It's like, I don't want to like commit to indentured servitude for
Yeah.
7 years.
7 years. It's forever. Yeah.
It is forever in the publishing world. I just can't get over it. And so I'm really happy to hear that they've got a more reasonable, uh, a reasonable policy on this.
Mhm.
That's
And
excellent.
they had started out saying, no, it's going to be exclusive, but they got huge pushback from the author community and said, no, you've got to let us publish this on other platforms. And they did change pretty quickly their terms of service on that. So that
Well,
was a
especially if
win
they
for us.
wanted, yeah, especially if they
Yeah,
wanted to attract the really big names to get it going.
exactly.
Like you're not going to get, some of the really big names if you're going to be exclusive like that.
Right.
You're just not going
That's
to
right.
tolerate it. So
Yeah.
yay.
Yay.
Yay. Well, Christine, that's really all I had to cover today. I just really wanted to learn at the feet of somebody that's been doing it for a while and doing such a good job of it.
Well,
And
thank you.
I'm thrilled that it seems to be going well and that y'all have a future for that material as well. So
Yeah.
excellent. Is there anything else you want to promote while you're here? Is there anything that's coming up or just go listen to the show?
Yeah, go listen to our podcast, come find me at ChristineDaigleBooks.com. And just anyone who's thinking about serial fiction, I encourage you just to join, a Vella community or a serial fiction community, get your questions answered,
Mhm.
Give it a try,
And
because
then go
there's no
find
downside.
the Molecule Thief and start reading it.
Yes, please.
All right. Thank you so much, Christine. It's been a pleasure talking to you.
Thanks, Kathrese. Thanks for having me.
All right. We'll talk to you later then.
Okay.
Bye.
Bye.
Your first chapter is your only chance to hook a new reader, your only chance to get an agent or a publishing contract. Is your first chapter ready? Be confident. What if you had a resource to help you figure out the strengths and weaknesses of your first chapter, an objective, informative rubric to go by? Don't leave things to chance. You get one opportunity and your first chapter needs to be irresistible. The first chapter rubric will help you identify the problem areas in your first chapter and figure out how to fix them. Get your free first chapter rubric at firstchapterrubric.com. Be ready for queries, be ready for readers, and get the results you dream about. Go to firstchapterrubric.com and get your copy today. For more tips like these, subscribe to the weekly Writing Pursuits Tips for Authors newsletter at writingpursuits.com/subscribe. Check out related videos by clicking the cards on the screen. If you found anything valuable about today's episode, please click the like button. Subscribe to follow the show and hit the notification bell so you never miss an episode. That's all I have for today. Until next time, keep writing.